Hi, CI families. Welcome back to the show. We're excited to spend another week with you virtually. So let's get started. I'm Faith.
And I'm Nick.
We're your hosts, and this is Together for Good.
In the first show, we talked about how the COVID-19 pandemic and the social unrest in our country have created a shared trauma for us all. We also talked about some different strategies for how you can help yourself and your family to deal with the stress and pain that we're all experiencing.
But we want our family to do more than just survive trauma. We want you to thrive.
Thrive, I love that.
So today, professional counselor Karis is going to share some strategies with us so that you can make a home that is safe, calm, and welcoming for your families to connect and thrive together. Welcome back to Healthy Families, Karis. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. It's good to be back, Faye.
Can't wait to hear more because in this COVID-19 pandemic, I've lacked a lot of structure.
I think we all have, and I've noticed, when kids started doing distance learning, like all of their structure and routine went out the window, and now it's summertime and summer vacation, and all of that structure that's normally, it's still like loose and like pretty unstructured, but there's still a structure to summer break that like doesn't feel like it's there this year.
Kids have talked about staying up late at night because they didn't have school the next day. It kind of threw a lot of the sleep patterns off. And I definitely related to that because the first month I had a normal sleep pattern, but after that month I had to force myself to stick to the routine. So I completely understand what you're talking about and what our families must be going through.
The biggest complaints I've heard is just like feeling either isolated or having like no sleep, like because there is no sleep structure. And that sleep is so important, like not just for our mental health, but just for you physically, like for your body to heal itself and, to carry on doing what it's day after day. I think we always need sleep structure. And, when it's appropriate, for their age, maybe, it is summertime, they can go to bed a little bit later, but there still needs to be a bedtime routine of like, okay, you either are taking your bath or you're washing your face and brushing your teeth, putting on pajamas, kind of still having that structure because that helps your brain signal to your brain, okay, it's time to start winding down. It's time to rest.
From the training that we get with for childcare and with conscious discipline, they talk about like structures and routines and how they ease kids' anxiety. They let them know what's coming. They let them, kind of be able to predictably go through something without having to be explained or wonder what's next.
But, I think what has really stuck with me from the conscious discipline training is the I love you rituals, and talking about how routines create structure and safety, but those rituals, finding places for that to, initiate connection with our families.
So a ritual could sort of be like something that is a routine, but it specifically kind of with another person, or it's like a bonding activity.
Absolutely. The point's just, to get some eye contact and some safe touch and, to open up some communication too. And so the I love you rituals are, from Conscious Discipline, and Dr. Becky Bailey developed them. And so she has a lot of great ideas to build off of. So usually when I'm working with families, I'll give them a handful to try at home. But then I'll see where families start creating their own rituals.
When I was younger, when my mom would comb my hair, she would sing, and it became, in my mind, our ritual.
Oh, that so much. That's super sweet.
Would you just kind of describe like why those things matter for our parents who like maybe haven't had it broken down into little pieces that way?
Without it getting too complicated, in our brains, we heal through connection, like those brain development that has been hindered because of trauma or whatever can heal through connection. It actually does do that, and so especially when kids and their brains are still growing and they're able to heal a little bit quicker, like they especially need that, and making the eye contact and being like seen and being heard and knowing that you're with them. Those are the three things I always try to focus on when I'm working with kids. Is I want them to feel seen, I want them to feel heard, and I want them to know I'm with them, and that they're not alone.
That's my hope for our families, that they find rituals that fit them and create their own connections and stories and routines.
Yeah, I think that I'm excited even for some of our families to just see that so many of the things they're already doing can be so powerful.
This is something that will benefit us not just during quarantine, but in future years to come.
Last week, we discussed using open-ended questions to start rich conversations with your children and teens. This week, we're going to talk about another way to build the connection between you and your child, and at the same time, help your child develop better self-confidence. This method is best with children ages 3 to 12. It's called Together Time. Together Time is based on a form of play therapy that counselors might use with young children. It's a wonderful way for you to build the bond with your child. It's not a substitute, though, for genuine play therapy or time with a licensed counselor. Let's get started. Together Time requires just 3 elements: 30 minutes of uninterrupted time with one child, an open play setting directed by the child, and rich noticing by you, the parent. Let's explore each element. 30 minutes of time with one child. Setting aside this time without distractions communicates to your child that they are important and worthy of your attention. Our busy world and distracted habits often leave children and adults with little time spent truly connecting. We only do this with one child at a time to reinforce this. Each child can have their own together time. And remember the ingredients that we talked about with Karis for connection: eye contact, being present. That means no cell phone texting or no TV on in the background, healthy physical touch, and a playful atmosphere. According to the brain science behind conscious discipline, when these 4 ingredients mix together, it makes a chemical reaction in our brains that make us happy and create bonds between us. The next element of Together Time is open-ended play directed by the child. Play is a child's natural form of expression and communication. It's their best way to express emotions, motivations, and desires. These are normally very difficult for a child to just come out and say with words, but sometimes they come out very easily with play. By letting the child direct the open-ended playtime with you, you're providing a platform for them to communicate with you. Also, it's pretty rare for a child to direct the action when they're engaging with a parent or other adult. Most of the time when children have attention from adults, the adult is in charge. Think about how you would feel if every time that you interacted with another adult, they told you what to do, what to think, or what to say. Wouldn't you feel small and powerless? Children sometimes feel the same way. By allowing your child to direct your time together, you will boost their confidence and make them feel more secure. The last element of Together Time is rich noticing. This is when you observe out loud what the child is saying or doing. You are literally just noticing everything out loud. For example, if your child drops a toy and laughs, you say, "You thought it was funny when you dropped the toy." You're just noticing what's happening in the child's world. This will feel very unnatural to most parents at first. That's because we're hardwired to teach, correct, or praise. But when we do any of these things, even praise, we're training the child's brain to look to us for affirmation and assurance about what they're doing. Instead, when we restrict ourselves during this time to just noticing, we're keeping the attention on the child's thoughts and feelings. In summary, remember that Together Time requires just 3 elements: 30 minutes of uninterrupted time with one child, an open-ended play setting directed by the child, and rich noticing by you, the parent.
This week's Game of the Week challenge gets your family moving and shows you how fun structure and routine really can be. Are you up for the challenge? Come on, let's play Together for Good. So you think you can dance as a family? This week's game of the week is actually not a game at all. It's a popular dance challenge made popular in Vietnam via TikTok. So to play, just gather your family, watch the hand washing TikTok dance video shown on the link here, or you can click on it in the description box. Learn the dance and get ready to move. Record your family doing the dance to the English version of the song, also located in the description box. Or you can dance to the original Vietnam soundtrack. Have fun and get moving.
You know, Faith, this week I've really thought about how these structures and routines we've talked about, so many of them before the pandemic were decided for us.
Right.
Your job decides when you go to work, how long you have to work, sometimes when you get your breaks. The schools decide when school starts and ends. And so even though it's been a disruption, this is really a cool time for us to decide for ourselves what is our day going to look like. And together time is just one example of how amazing it can be to decide for our family what our day is going to look like.
Yeah, I know sometimes all the choices can be overwhelming, but I love the fact that today we heard a lot of tips and tricks of how we can structure our time to the best of our ability.
Yeah. So remember, as usual, that you can subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure you don't miss a video, and follow us on social media. And also, let us know how we're doing. You can do that with the feedback survey that's in the description box. That'll help us know whether the information that we're talking about is really helpful to you.
And as always, remember, we're all in this together.
Together for good.